What is up, Pyromaniacs? Parastasis here. We're back in the world of EVE Online. And this is not part of our normal Alpha to Omega series. This is TDK Trader, one of my other alts who I play with. We're going to take a look at the Abyssal Deadspace today. I actually recorded this video earlier and it screwed up with the audio, so we're re-recording it now. So just in the FYI, I'm going to go ahead and deposit everything here in the item hanger because we are going back out. And I don't want to risk the death. I think it's this one here. I need 3, please. Thank you. Okay, so let me show you the fit real quick that we're using. This is a worm. It is... I have changed the name of this thing. I have changed the name of this thing multiple times. I'm annoyed. There it goes. Finally. Okay. Anyways, it is a worm fit. This fit is designed to do T1s solo. Can do T2s mostly, depending on your RNG, supposedly. Although that's questionable in my opinion. And can do apparently T3s and T4s in a group. Well, maybe T3s. T4s is kind of a reach. For those of you guys who don't know, you can now do these as a group with up to 3 frigates, which definitely makes things easier, but at the same time, you gotta have 3 people. These fittings are all fairly blinged out, in my opinion. This ship normally costs about 40 million. We've got another 60 some odd million in fits, 3 small core defense field purgers, 3 light missile launcher 2s firing Scourge. We have 2 Republic Fleet small shield extenders, 1 1MNY TAC S8 compact afterburner, and 1 Pythium C-type EM ward amplifier, and then 2 drone damage amplifier 2s. Just to fit this, you do need some pretty hefty skills. It's probably doable. I don't know if an Alpha can even fly this ship, but one could fly maybe the Merlin. But again, I don't know how well that would do in this situation. We also are using T2 drones. Hornets do a little bit more, but my Hornets got blew up, so we're using Hobgobs at the moment, and I think that's basically the gist of it. The majority of our damage does come from drones, and you have to be very, very, very careful with the monsters in these dungeons because they will straight up wreck your shit. They fight the drones pretty quickly. So be careful. Most of the time you can kind of get them, you get the aggro on you and then they'll ignore the drones, but you have to be very careful because they will pop your drones in seconds. Now, I do like to do these at planets, you can do them anywhere, but I prefer to do them at planets because they're at least, and a lot of the information about Abyssals is about a year old or at least 8 months old. At one point in time, tier 3 and above, I believe, made you criminal flagged when you exited. That was then paused. I don't know if it was ever re-enabled. So just for weirdness sake, I like to make sure that I'm at a planet just to keep that from being a problem for me, even though we're only doing tier 1s. You'll notice that I do have 3 filaments on me. That's because these are meant to be run as cruisers. Since we are not a cruiser, we're basically running solo on the group setup. So we're basically telling the game, hey, I'm going in with a fleet, and then we're like, lol, just kidding. To do that, you do need to form a fleet with yourself, and then at that point you can just kind of ignore it, double click this. You gotta wait for the timer on your fleet to time out. Usually takes about 15 to 20 seconds, then you can activate. And it's gonna throw up this cool little wormhole looking thing right here, and then you just pop in. Now, keep in mind, once you go in, you have 20 minutes from the time you cross the threshold to complete the dungeon. And to complete the dungeon, you have to kill all the bad guys, and you do not have to loot anything if you don't want to. Each pocket has 1 to 3 loot containers, and they're not always conveniently located. But you must exit the other side. There's usually, I think there's 3 pockets. You must exit the other side before that 20-minute mark is up. If you do not, pop goes the weasel, the place implodes. What do I mean by that? I mean, it fucking collapses and will crush you to death. So that kind of sucks. You'll lose everything that you got on you. All right, we're gonna go ahead and launch drones. And send drones. You'll lose everything on you, including your pod and all things equipped on said pod. So keep that in mind. All right, I don't think I can hit that quite yet. I think it's outside my range, but we're gonna go ahead and head that direction. We want to keep our speed up if we can, because that will keep it to where they can't quite fuck me up as bad, and that's our goal, is to kind of hopefully take as little damage as possible. Keep heading in that general direction. Drones are fighting the next one. 2 of them are already down. We are a passive tank, so you're gonna notice our shields are regenning as we speak. And that was 1.7 million roughly. Now, some of these can be pretty lucrative. Let's go ahead and start heading towards the next one. Sick drones. If you get a skill book in these, you can easily make, I've heard, up to 600 million on one of these sites. Now, granted, it's very rare that you will get one of those, so don't expect to get those very often. It's a very rare loot run. Oh shit, they're shooting at him now. Okay, well, they got him anyway. That's fine. Return to drone bay. Notice how the aggro switched? If I don't pull them back fast enough, they will frag them. Oh, also, really cool thing. I don't know if you guys can see it, but that thing actually turns on once you can use it. So before that, it's all closed up and shit. And then once you kill the last guy, it actually moves and opens, which is a really cool feature. So anyways, you can see your timer up here. We have 17 minutes and 59 seconds left. We have 2 more pockets to clear. We've already cleared 1 pocket. This thing, for the most part, will clear all the pockets. Again, you just want to make sure you keep your transversal up. So if you see something that looks like a Dominic's, don't run straight at it. You might need to kind of, like, if this was it and you're outside of your orbiting range, you want to come at it at an angle. And what I mean by that is, like, I'll show you here in a second. Boom, boom. Are we outside? Of course we would be outside the range. Why not? All right, what loot you got for nothing? You're a dick. All right, so for instance, right here, we are at 56 kilometers away from this gate, okay? So if I approach the gate, even if I orbit the gate at say 10 kilometers, I'm gonna be going straight at the gate. That means my transversal 0. For those of you guys who don't know, transversal is your speed relative to the, I guess the speed of the other item or the other target, and it's how fast your guns can track. So as your transversal increases, tracking speed has to increase, or an accuracy increases, and basically they start missing. So what you'd want to do is kind of click over here to the right, and by clicking over here to the right, I'm still approaching it, but I'm now approaching it at an angle, and by approaching it at an angle, that kicks the transversal up, and that means you're not going to get fucking shot straight on. I think of it like if you're in your house and somebody broke into your house and you had to shoot at them, and they're running straight at you, and you just shoot in a straight line, they're easy to hit. But if they were running circles around you at 100 miles an hour, all of a sudden that easy shot becomes really difficult. It's basically the same principle. Keep that in mind. All right, we're fixing to pop the next gate. Now, keep in mind, this ship runs about 116 million ISK, okay? These things seem, oh boy. Where is that? Yeah, we'll go for the cash first. These things seem to drop anywhere from 8 to 30 million a piece on average. Now, that's a tier 1 one. Obviously, that's going to increase as the difficulty increases. So you can make some killer money here. All right. See if we can't drop this thing before we get in range of this thing. Yeah, he's dropping pretty quick. Notice our shields kind of drop and then they kind of balance up. I think that's because there's a percentage thing. Let me go ahead and frag this thing real quick. That's going to kill my transversal. This is going to drop it. Open it, please. Ooh, 2.45. Thank you much. Let's head to the next one. Okay, and that one's dead. Engage. I strongly recommend you kind of ignore going towards these. I mean, obviously shoot at it with your missiles. It's added DPS. I think it's an extra 50 DPS, which adds up. But your drones are going to be the main damage dealer. The thing is, you don't want to wait until you kill everything because these things are kind of spaced out. I don't know if you've noticed. And unless you're really quick, you're going to be struggling to get to all of them and then have to kind of make the decision of, okay, well, you know, which one do I skip? Now, keep in mind, these are RNG boxes. So a lot of times they're full of just nothing. There literally can be nothing inside of them. So in situations like that, you know, you're not wasting your time. Unfortunately, you don't know when there's nothing inside of them. So that does make that challenging. You have to kind of make that choice yourself. All right, let's pop this one real quick. Come on. Hello. Please fire. Thank you. All right, and fuck, nothing. All right, so we got 100 meters to go. Return to drone bay. How long we got? Oh, we're plenty of time. So anyways, as I was saying, this is the tier 1 one. This is also the one I'm doing right here debuffs your EM resistances. So, or not EM, thermal, I think it is. So you want to use thermal. All of them have different drawbacks, which can also be buffs. So for instance, in this one, it reduces all thermal resistances across the board. So if you use thermal damage, all of a sudden you've got a buff. Now at the same time, you're going to be taking more thermal damage, but as long as you can cover that resource, you ought to be okay. The problem that I've run into with the Triglavian stuff and the Abyssal stuff is just finding the information. And I know the information's out there. It's not the easiest stuff to find. I've found a lot of YouTubers that are, you know, use this Gila fit or this Gila fit. The problem is a lot of those fits have been nerfed in some aspects and they're all blinged out. So you're talking about a 3 billion to 8 billion-esque ship that may have been nerfed. Well, let me rephrase, has been nerfed, but is it still functional? And then you've got people who, you know, do no research and can't really figure anything out, complaining because they got blown up in their 8 billion-esque ship, and it makes it very difficult to find good information. So if any of you guys happen to know some good spots where I can find some good fits, I would love to slowly work my way into tier 3s, 4s, and 5s. I don't expect to be in there anytime soon, but it is something I would like to work towards. So if you know a good repository, a good chat room, a good forum, anything along those lines that I can talk to or interface with to try and get some, you know, current information on these, I'd appreciate it. 674,000, not really worth the trouble, but it's still something. Now, you can see we've already made 5.3 million here just in the 2 pockets. We've got one more final pocket to do. The ship itself that I'm running is about 115 million-esque. The market says it's worth 130, but we actually somehow managed to get it cheaper. So, you know, if you pull 20 million a site, you're going to need 5 sites before you pay your ship off, which is actually a pretty low barrier to entry. The problem is, unlike missions, you know, in missions, if you bling out your ship, your chances of death are actually kind of low, unless you're just really dumb. With Triglavian stuff and these Abyssal Deadspaces, your risk of death is significantly higher. I mean, there are ways to hedge your bets. You know, you kind of know what you're going to get into to some aspect, but what you're actually going to be fighting and all that stuff, the game can still RNG screw you. So it's a lot different. You can't just go buy the blinged out setup and expect to do well. You know, you need to learn what the clouds do, what the debuffs do, which ships to target in which orders. You know, do I want to kill the newts first and then the webbers and then the scrammers, or, you know, blah, 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 blah. There's a lot that goes into it. All right, we're gonna head towards this one. So there's oh my God. Oh, the swarmers. Don't target the drones directly. The reason you don't want to target the drones directly is when you kill their drone ship, it kills them too. So there's no reason to target the drones directly, because you just killed the drone ship and the drones will go bye-bye. And I should be able to showcase that here in just a second. There's what, 6 out? So we should be losing 3 here momentarily. Hopefully. I'll turn this off real quick. Because I gotta pop this loot box and then head to the next one. Come on. Jesus, the recycle time on that is forever. Okay, fire this. Fires the missiles. Okay. And, oh, 10 million plus a skill book. Gangster. All right, return to drone bay. Let's head down here. Fires the missiles. Let's get moving again. All right, let's do these 2 launch drones and stick them on him. Hopefully they won't target him. Now you can notice these 3 still have active locks on me. These 3 do not. I could kill those if I wanted to. It's a shame you can't actually scoop them into your drone bay like a drone and learn how to use them. That would be pretty fucking sick, I'm not gonna lie. But unfortunately that is not an option. So here, once we blow this guy up, these 3 will unlock me, and poof, and done. So no reason to even target those guys. And again, you know, unlike anything else, you don't make any, what do you call it? You don't get anything for killing these. There's no bounties. There's nothing like that. So killing them does you no good. Now, we're in the 3rd one here. You'll see the original conduit is right here. That is our exit. That's going to get us out of here. So now that we've killed the last nasty critter here, we do have that opening up and we can bail. So this is a nice, and I can't say a cheap ship, but it is a nice way to fairly painlessly earn some pretty decent ISK. I would say that this probably could keep up with 0-0, what do you call it, 0-0 exploration, but at drastically less risk, at least in my opinion. And the reason why it's drastically less risk is you're not running, you don't have to deal with PvP. And yes, these are tricky, but once you figure out, you know, the methods and, you know, the procedures and what to look out for, what's here, what's not, et cetera, et cetera. Once you figure out how all that works, I mean, I can do these things without hardly any paying attention. Every once in a while, I'll get one of the big scary ships and I kind of have to focus a little bit. But for the most part, it's pretty brain dead work. And you're making pretty damn good money doing it. So the other nice thing is, if you're worried about doing them solo, grab yourself 2 friends. You can do them in a group of 3. You're going to have to be paying the 3 anyway to do them solo. You might as well do them with a friend. Just keep in mind that the loot, you know, you guys have to split the loot, and you want to do it with somebody you can trust, because otherwise they'll just ninja all the loot and take off. So there is that, the joys of Eve, where you can trust no one. So I'm looking for any good up-to-date information on these, specifically fits, good videos and or content creators that you know of that are covering this stuff. All of that's information I need to know that's current, and then I'm going to start producing my own kind of guides in my own way. You know, there's a million different YouTubers on YouTube. There's a million different people producing guides for a bunch of different games. I'm just going to give it my own personal style and take the information that I get and kind of convert it into my own little process. So if you'd like to see some of that and you have some of the information out there, please feel free to throw it my way, either in the comments section below with an Eve mail. You can send it to TDK Trader, Pyrostasis, or Skunk Master Flex. I play all 3 characters fairly actively. More so Skunk Master and TDK Trader. But that's it. We just got out. That's our trace that we came through. It should be closing here soon. I guess it will wait until the, I think we had about 7 minutes left at the end there. So it'll probably wait till that's off, but not too shabby. Not too shabby. Let me know what you guys think. Would you like to see some more Abyssal ships, specifically in higher tiers? I know tier 1's pretty easy stuff, but you guys might be interested in some tier 4s and tier 5 runs. If so, let me know by pointing them out in the comment section. I guess that's it. So thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this series. If you are, let me know by slapping that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next clip.